said we had an intro video. Welcome to the Positively Powerful Podcast. I am Coach Key.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, right.
Who are you?
I'm not Coach Key.
I'm Coach Key.
I am Coach Shimmy.
And I'm here with Coach Key.
Right, I'm here with Coach Key. And welcome. As you can tell, we are so excited to be here. A little nervous, but we are excited to be here on the first episode of this beautiful podcast. And so we thought we would just spend a couple minutes, telling you who we are. So, you don't think you're just listening to somebody who doesn't know. But really, we want to tell you who we are and what this podcast will be about.
All right. Welcome. Come in. Come and breathe. Get a breath of fresh air and let's get this thing flowing.
Whoop, whoop.
Yes, for sure.
Yes. So, like I said, I am Coach Shimmy, Coach Shimitria, but I just go by Coach Shimmy. So individually, I am a certified master life coach. I am the visionary and founder of the Visionary Associates, a company that believes in you and believes that your dream shouldn't just be a dream.
And I am Keisha. I go by Coach Key. I am the founder of Bridge to Purpose. Our goal is to help you bridge from where you are to get to where you want to be in every aspect of your life. And that begins with helping you to begin to find out where you want to be. So that's pretty much what we do. We get you started, get you on your way, and we walk across the bridge together.
And together we are
the Empowerment Sistas.
Yes. And so collectively, we do transformational summits. We have created this beautiful bingo game, which if you haven't got it yet, you need to definitely grab a copy.
Yes.
It is a bingo game. So without numbers, instead we use empowering words. We also do vision boards. We do self-care plans and also facilitatings. Whatever you need, we are here. So you definitely want to get in contact with us.
Absolutely. And we could tell you all about it, but there is nothing like the experience. The experience is what allows you to really feel it. Of course, we know how great it is because we've been actively involved with it for a substantial amount of time. But for you to really feel it, you would have to be at one of our summits. The summit this year is called Fall in Love with Yourself, where we just dive into all the different things that we experience through the course of our lives, like from childhood all the way up to adulthood. It's just a really, really dope experience to help you really assess how it all began and help you walk through each step of dealing with it and understanding it. And then Coach Shimmy gives you an active part of how to begin to pick up the pieces of all of that and begin to see the light at the end of the tunnel. I mean, like I said, we can tell you all about it, but you have to actually experience it to really, really understand the concept. It will help you to see you through a different set of eyes. To piggyback on what she said in regards to bingo, that is another phenomenal thing. Of course, the classic bingo game is with the numbers, but ours is with words. Like, for example, like regular bingo is B number 5. Our B would be B for brave. Be brave in all that you do. The bingo game allows yourself to hear and pour into yourself with each word, because each word is a powerful word to let you know and hear what you can be. So it's just an exciting opportunity to be a part of not only the bingo game, but especially the summit and the vision board party. The vision board party allows you to put your words, your feelings, your aspiration, dreams into action in front of you with the with coaching helping you along the way.
And it's so important about our journey is this was not something that we were taught. This is who we naturally are.
Yes.
And even in the spectrum, there have not been a lot of just coaches are just out there. And it seems like within the last couple of years, this scene has just quadrupled.
Yes, it has.
And it's good because when you think about mental health, it's something that we didn't really talk about when we were younger, Mm-hmm. And the fact that it's something that is so prevalent now and it's something that's talked about now, for me, it was definitely a okay, now I can put a name to it. Now I can put like all this confusion of what it is that it said that made me who I naturally am, but want to do what I wanted to do. I couldn't figure out how to put it in words or what it would look like. And so when the vision started coming together, it just really everything started falling into place. So even when we think about like what is mental health and why is it so important, why do you think, Coach Key, that mental health is important as the way it is?
I think it's super, super important, mainly because people don't know about it. So you deal with things, and you're not even realizing how it's affecting your mental health and your psyche as a person. So I think in this area and field that we're in, it allows people to have a safe space to talk about things that we've all grown up not talking about. I remember when I was growing up, there wasn't, therapy, so to speak, or life coaching. It was go to church and pray. And I'm not saying that doesn't work. I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying is it is good to have a safe space to actually speak to someone and they talk back to you, allowing you to be open and less guarded with your feelings and not be judged. And I think that's the one thing I love about what we do. We provide a non-judgmental space to where you're able to just completely be free. You'll be surprised at what you'll say and tell and speak upon when you feel safe. So for me, just having an outlet, and like she said, like Coach Shimmy said, being able to put a name on it, because we've been feeling this way for years, but we didn't know what to call it. So to have like quote unquote mental health, have something to where we can compare, okay, these are our thoughts. It really is mental health. Okay, so we can compare our thoughts to what mental health is supposed to be versus what we think it is. So I think it being important is more than important, just because knowledge is power. And if you know something, you can do better with it. Now that you have the assistance to at least begin the journey of knowing where to start, because having something go on with your life for how many ever years without ever being addressed could be a tough spot. But being able to address it and talk about it may help just that much more.
And the thing that I love about the mental health spectrum is because it's such a highlight on it now, it has really expanded to, it's not just therapy. It's, you may have therapy and you have life coaching, which even life coaching, a lot of people may look at, what's the difference between life coaching and what's the difference between therapy? And I always tell even my clients, that I am not your therapist, because we are not really going to talk about your back trauma. We're not going to talk about things that hold you back. Just like a coach in an NFL team, or any sports team, we're coaching you so you can be the best version of yourself that you can be going forward. Mm-hmm. And when you think about, I love even the term coaching, because most people, you're familiar with the sports team. You're familiar with what makes a team. And even, I always say, if you're looking at the NFL after a game and they interview somebody, mm-hmm. They interview the player, and the player is usually always like, my team, my team, my mm-hmm. team. Very rarely are they like, oh, it's me. Yeah. And so it's like, for the fact that they know that it takes a team in order to get it done, then you have to think the same way. Absolutely. You have to think that I need a coach so that way I can make sure that I'm being the best me. And I always say, you definitely should not live inside your head, because if you're yes. the only person that you're receiving any type of just communication from, or feedback from, or suggestions from, then that's not really
not the best. Definitely not the best.
Yeah. So even, if we break down what this podcast is, what's it about, even when we start with positively and positive and just positiveness as a concept, our world is built off of negativity. Mm-hmm. Even when you look at the media, you look at the news, it's 99% something bad, mm-hmm. and if it's something good, it's so quick, yes. that you done missed it. Mm-hmm. And that's just even the social media, it's the narrative of the media. And so what we're doing is something different. We're like, hey, let's flip it. And instead of putting the focus on the negative, let's look on the positive aspects. So what do you think, Coach He, or maybe some of the misconceptions or negative tones that people will think of, because we are focused on the positive side of it?
I think when you think of, first off, I love the concept of what you're saying about coaching. Coaching allows you to feel supported without being judged. Um, there is a stigma around the word therapy. People associate therapy with being crazy and something being wrong with you, versus coaching, that just means that you need assistance. And people tend to be more receptive with that. Of course, on my side, I am the therapist and the life coach. So for me, I look at it from my perspective as being able to dive in with you just a small amount of what you've been through so that I can help you begin to see where you need to go, but without wasting all of your energy on what you've been through, just to simply allow you that space to release it and speak about it so that we can create a plan together on what you could do better. Because we will spend our whole lives talking about what has happened and woe is me and oh my God, why did this happen to me? So when I'm thinking about what we do, it is not, oh my God, why this happened to me? The why is more of why haven't I not began to move in a direction that fits what I want? I tell all of my clients, in certain situations, you have to ask yourself, at what point do you stop being a victim and become a volunteer to your trauma? At some point, when do you stop just basing your life on everything that has happened and begin to move forward and make the necessary adjustments to make your life better? You are only as great as you aspire to be. And I think with coaching, it allows that. It allows that space. It allows that growth. It provides that safe energy versus just having therapy and just constantly talking about the negative side of everything that has happened in this life. So I am so grateful for life coaching. I wish we had it sooner. Mm-hmm. And people understand the difference between therapy and life coaching, because there is a difference. Therapy, the short version, therapy allows you to talk about what you've been through. It allows you to hopefully free some of the feelings that you've been harboring for X amount of years. Coaching allows you to assess what you've been through and to begin to make the path of moving forward. Life coaching frees you from therapy, free you from needing the hold that therapy allows you to have. It allows you to move forward to say, hey, you know what? I've been through this. Okay. This happened to me when I was 15 or 16 or 25, at whatever age, whatever happened to you happened to you. Life coaches allows you to free yourself of that and say, okay, I was a victim, so to speak, during that time. I do not want to voluntarily be a victim anymore. So at this point, I am going to be victorious. So what do I need to do to make my life better with everything that I've been through? And that's what the Empowerment Sistas does. We put it all out there for you. We listen to you. We hear you. And together we make a plan. I always tell my clients that, yes, I am your life coach, but I live in the same world that you live in. I have the same concerns and parents and husbands and children and lives that you do. So I am not exempt from life. So my goal is to help you get through your life, just as someone constantly helped me get through mine.
And I can definitely see where that was a great answer. And I can definitely see actually where there would be a need for both. Mm-hmm. Because, and that's what makes our summits so powerful, even though, fast forward to our summits, but that's what makes them so powerful, because I think that in order to move forward successfully, you need to become aware and let go of some of the things that are maybe holding you back. Mm-hmm. And we don't allow ourselves to think. A lot of times, sometimes we're taught to just sweep stuff under the rug. And you sweep it under the rug, and you sweep it under the rug, and you don't address it. And then 50 years from now, when you're all messed up and you can't figure out why you don't address the things that you swept under the rug. Mm-hmm. And like you said, you do become the victim, because your story becomes your attachment. It becomes, this is the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing, because of this, and it's like, well, if I don't have this anymore, then I don't have anything, and it's like, I'm no longer defined, I'm no longer the victim, and there's nothing else. And people also, look at things that if I have a problem, then my problem does not have to be my real problem.
Absolutely. Well said. Definitely well said. Yes. I think that is one of the most profound things that you could have said. Like, it's amazing how people clam up when they have to take accountability. People want to be the victim in some way, because as long as, like you said, as long as you are the victim, I don't have to really figure out what the real problem is. I can attach myself to what happened to me when I was 15 to make a justification of why I make the decisions that I'm making at 45, instead of just saying I make decisions at 45 because that's what I want to do. I'll use it as an excuse and say, oh yeah, well, this happened and this is why I do this, just like you said. So I definitely think oftentimes people want the help, but healing is a process. Healing is waking up in the morning, bursting out in tears and not knowing why. Healing is being mad, happy, sad, annoyed, all in 30 minutes. like it is so many different emotions. But that's how you know that you are beginning to heal, because things are working this course. We're working through. And most times when you do have a situation, it takes you through an array of emotions before you get to the point of healing. So I think that is the most difficult part. But if you can just stick with it with us and you get to the other side, you will ask yourself, oh my God, what took me so long? Because there's a different air that you breathe once you get healed. Like the closed in suffocation air that you have on this side is much different than the crisp air that you have. I don't know. A lot of people have been to Denver. I have never been there, Colorado. But the people I know that have been there, they tell me about a different crisp air. And if you've never felt crisp air before, it's a different type of breathing. I will connect that to like a person who uses a humidifier. Imagine not being able to breathe for so long and then you take a full breath. That is what healing feels like. That is the bridge between trauma and healing. It's the deep breath that you feel after. That is what you feel.
Yes. And a lot of times you don't even realize you've been holding the breath.
Yes.
Until you exhale and you're like, huh.
Yes.
But the thing, it's 100% possible. Healing is 100% possible.
Absolutely
possible. And so even in our practice, and that's us even focusing on our next P, which is our powerful, it's we all go through something. Even us sitting here,
absolutely,
we teach, strength and power, but we individually have our own testimony, our own story, our own is why are we standing here as powerful as we are?
Yes.
Because we ourselves, we had to go through healing. We had to find peace. We had to find joy, even in the midst of, even while trying to figure it out. So when we talk to, our clients, our visionaries, our strengths, our warriors, we really try to make sure that when they walk out the door, they know that they're great, that they know that they're powerful, that they know that whatever has happened to them, I can hear the click. Sorry. That whatever has happened to them, that it is absolutely 100% that they are the ones that can be able and that they can do anything. And for me, it has been I'm so grateful, number one, that he's given me such an amazing partner.
Woo-hoo, you better know it. You better know it. Yes.
Because, individually, and I actually heard tonight, individually, yeah, you're great, but it's like you are so better together.
Yes,
you
absolutely.
are so much better together. And I believe a lot of times, and I have to say it for myself, misconceptions where we think we do it all ourselves. And no, we don't. Even if we don't have God, it's like if you have a one-man show and you had a show, if you had a building, somebody provided the building. So you didn't do it by yourself. Somebody had to turn on the lights. Somebody had to open the doors. If you were up there performing, somebody had to be the host. So we're never, ever by ourselves. Mm-hmm. But it's very much important that we surround ourselves with people that are adding to us, that are contributing to us. And that can be a hard part. That can be a very hard part.
Very hard.
Because I think people are not naturally positive.
That's the light way of putting it. The nice way of putting it. Yeah, absolutely.
So it can be difficult sometimes to find light in the midst of anything.
Well said. That's a good way of putting it, especially when most people internally in their heads live in darkness. You'll be surprised at how many people reject light. Everybody say that, I want to feel the light. No, you don't, because it's amazing. The old saying, what's done in the dark comes to the light. The reason people do things in the dark, because you cannot see. When the light is on, it forces you to see exactly what you're supposed to see, whether you want to or not. So oftentimes people love the dark. So imagine being in the light and talking to somebody that's in the dark. It's almost like you guys are from two different spectrums. Because on the dark side, everything is dark. I am able to move around. I don't have to have any accountability. You can't really see me for real. I'm ducked off, right? I'm dealing with whatever I'm dealing with by myself in the shadows. In the light, however, it forces you to say, okay, well, this happened, but what part did you play? Mm-hmm. Okay, even if you didn't play a part, what are you doing to get past this? It forces you to see the entire picture. In the dark, it's very difficult to see the whole thing. Mm-hmm. In the light, you see it all. Oh, okay, well, I did do that. That's probably why it happened. So people don't want the light. I think light is power. Mm-hmm. And everybody wants power, but they don't want the light and the accountability that comes with the light. And I think you cannot have it both ways. You will either live your life in darkness to where you're able to maneuver without accountability and move on your own merit, or you will live in the light and force yourself to rise to the occasion to be the best version of yourself. But that takes work. That takes accountability. That takes realizing that you are just as much as the problem that you're running from. And people don't want that. I mean, it sounds good until you get ready to do it. Right. And then people are like, well, I'm going to call you right back. Let me call you right back, because I'm not sure I want to do that. So I think like what we're doing in the podcast and in Visionary and Bridge to Purpose, it forces anyone that wants to be a part of it to really, really want to enhance their lives and really live the best version of themselves unapologetically. Right. And it also forces you to be accountable. Like, okay, well, that was probably Keisha that time. That wasn't you. That was probably me that time. And I think that's so difficult. Mm-hmm. But I think that is, to do that, you will have to be quite powerful in knowing who you are as a person and accepting the fact that we are human and we are flawed. But with that, have just as much care to want to do better within yourself, to want to move forward. And for me, being courageous enough to understand that you cannot do it alone. Because if you could, you would have done it a long time ago. Mm-hmm. So that's where we come in. We come in to cheer you on. That's what a coach does. A coach cheers you on. They teach you. They help you. They get on you. They do everything that needs to be done to make you the best version of yourself.
Right. And I think, like you said, it's not pretty. Healing is not pretty in the healing. Mm-hmm. But on the other side of it, who you become, you are like the breath of fresh air.
Absolutely.
But getting to that, it's not pretty. But like you said, we have to be accountable. I read this book.
Tell me what it's called.
It's called Flip the Script. Change your thinking, change your life.
Yes.
And in the first chapter, sometimes the problem is you. Right. Because we don't like the mirror, as like to call it, is if you talk to somebody and they're talking about somebody else, it's like water. It's flowing like water, their conversation. But if you ask them, well, what about you? It's usually most of the time people get defensive.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, what do you mean? You know, and it's like, but it's like, well, that's what our conversation should have been about the whole time. It should have been about you or about me or about how we are making each other the best versions of ourselves and how we're holding ourselves accountable. Because even when we talk about the word love, you know, love is not always me agreeing with you.
Absolutely
love is me holding you accountable, you know, to the best version of who you are. And that's another great thing about our partnership is even when we started this, because we are both powerful, amazing women, you know, we have been successful in our practices, you know, even in, it's funny because we were parallel and didn't even know it.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yes.
We were each, you know, have our masters, you know, we have our, you know, our certified in coaching, but it's just like the path that we each took. Who would have even known? And even us coming together was completely different, you know, for why we came together. But who God has created us to be on this side, or who we are as we're walking along this and we're pouring into people. It's like we hold each other accountable. Absolutely. It's like, you know, if every day is not a pretty day.
Right, absolutely. Definitely not.
But it's, hey, sis, you know, it's I love you, but you feel that genuine love.
Absolutely.
So it's like, you know, even as we are criticizing or critical about making sure that we are not doing something that is not adding to what we're supposed to be, you know, then we hold each other accountable to that. And I appreciate that. And I love that.
Yes.
And even if it doesn't feel good, because procrastination feels good,
yes,
you know,
it
laziness
does.
Feels good. And,
oftentimes,
you know, and I don't feel like doing it all the time, you know, but we are exactly what we need, because it's like, it's not even about us. This is not even about us. This is, as we grow other people to be the best version of themselves, we are simultaneously becoming our best versions of ourselves.
Yes, we are. I think that is an excellent point. While we're teaching, we are learning. But one small thing, let me just make sure that we put this out there. Flip the Script was wrote by Coach Shimmy. She left that part out. And it is a dynamic book. And not just because she's my bestie, no, but because it is a dynamic book. It really gets you engulfed from like the first chapter. I read it in like 2 days. So yeah. So it really gets you engulfed and you're like, well, dog. Well, really it's me, because the book, it forces you to think about you and what parts that you play. She is so modest, so she's not going to even, you see how fast she skipped over it. But no, I'm going to tell you, it is really, really good. And it's not a thick read. It's a quick read. And it's one of those things where you can continuously read to refresh. And it's small enough to where you can put in your purse or your book bag or something that you carry. And it just allows you to be refreshed on what you need to be doing. It is such a great, great, great book to have. And it works at every age. The book is simple enough for the youngest person to understand the concept. And I think that is one of the greatest parts of it, because people think, oh my God, it's too complex. No, this book is about yourself, how you move, how you think about things, how you accept accountability or not accept accountability for that matter. So I think that this is something that everybody should have. And like I said, not because she's my bestie, I'm not saying it because of that. Like, it's really good. Even if she wasn't, I still would have it, because it reminds me of, it's not always someone or something else. This is me. This is how I am making my decisions. So this is happening with Coach Key, because Coach Key is doing this. So that was just a disclosure, because she is so sweet. She wouldn't even talk about it. But it is a book that I encourage you to get. It is, believe it or not, it's at Walmart online. You can, email her to get a copy. It's on Amazon. So it's a few different places. Tell them the name of it, sis.
Well, thank you. It is Flip the Script, Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life. And this book simply it was given to me by God, and I just simply just recorded it, whatever it said. But I wanted it literally to be for everybody. It is, like you said, it's a quick read. It's only 43 pages. And so I wanted to make it so anybody could pick up this book and be able to read. You don't have to worry about, oh, it's so complicated, that I can't understand the words, or it's so long. Usually when we look at something, it's be like so long, it's like, I'm definitely not finna, do that. So, but I wanted to be that, it's pick up and you can read it. And I wanted to make it so relatable that you can actually feel the words. And after every chapter, there's discussion questions, which the discussion questions are just, they're just moments, like things I never really thought of. Like it's simple as giving yourself a high five at the end of the night for just making it through the day.
Yes.
It's just those hump moments to let you know that I don't have, how do you eat an elephant? A bite at a time.
Absolutely. And that's how it's ate. One piece at a time.
Right. So I'm so grateful and so honored, because this is definitely a you versus you book.
It definitely is that. And I think with what we do, we definitely need a you versus you. And I think you have to, when I say you versus you, I mean your old self with your new self, who you are versus who you inspire to be. And at this point in our lives, we should be focused on that, living the best version of our lives, because so much is happening around us consistently. You have to be in touch with your star player, which is you. And everything starts with you. You cannot be an efficient anything without taking care of yourself first. And that includes your mental health and your psyche. It includes your thought process and how you feel about yourself and the things and the decisions that you're making. So I definitely think that that is the first step, knowing and understanding you. At Bridge to Purpose, we teach you to see yourself through another set of eyes. And I say that because your whole life, you've seen yourself through this specific set of eyes. Bridge to Purpose is going to give you a brand new pair of glasses, even if you think that you don't need them. Just as well as the Visionary Associate. What the Visionary does, they help you to see different areas of your life. They help you to create your life on paper. For me, Bridge to Purpose help you create it in your brain. Visionary help you to put it on paper so you can see. So I'm going to change the way that you think about it, and Visionary is going to help you see it.
Right.
And together, listen, you can't lose. You got your brain right, and it's in front of you. You are well on your way.
Yes,
for sure. And that's why the Empowerment Sisters are so powerful. Not because we don't live in the same world as you do, but it's because we have each other. And that's what it takes. It takes, people say it takes a village to raise. I don't think so. I don't think it necessarily takes a village. It takes one that you trust, one that you love, one that you can be your whole self with without fail.
Right.
And you don't have to have a village for that. You just need one person. And there's nothing wrong with talking to God. I'm definitely not against that. But there's nothing wrong with talking to a person and they immediately talk back.
Right.
I call that the heavenly angel and the earthly angel.
I like that. I think you definitely need a safe space.
Yep.
That is not inside your head.
Absolutely. And that's not necessarily safe.
That is not necessarily safe.
Yes.
And I think that when people acknowledge that your mind really is driving a lot more than what we give, attention to,
absolutely,
then we can really change it, because they say you have whole worlds in your mind that never even come true. And you have visions in your mind that you tell yourself are so real. That is absolutely, and we don't really, we're not going to make this a spiritual podcast, but I know for me is I can't help but give God the credit for everything. But it's like the power of the tongue, the life or death is in the power of the tongue.
Very much so. And
we don't really think about how much we speak our death. Prime example, if somebody say, oh, something bad is going to happen today, something bad, and meaning you are speaking it out of your mouth. You are putting it out in the atmosphere. You are actively searching for it to happen. And then when it happens, you're like, see, I knew it. Yep. But it's like, Well, you said it. So, of course, it just came true. But it's like the same way you speak negative. Well, what if you speak positive?
Absolutely.
What if instead of you thinking automatically, I can't do it, what if you thought that you could do it? I mean, how much really, and if you thought you can do it, and if your mind, it's everything starts with your thought and it starts with your mind. And if you really was like, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it, that produces a whole, you have different feelings in your body.
Yes.
You have different feelings, even in the outcome, because you automatically believe that it's as possible and you can do it. So what if you thought that for yourself? What if you thought that I could do it, even in the midst of everything, even if things are not looking good right now, even if I don't know what's going to happen next, even if I mean, we don't know what life is. The one thing we do know is life is constantly changing.
Yes.
We are no longer babies.
No,
crawling around on the floor.
Definitely not that.
No. So change is absolutely 100% happen. So why would you not expect change to happen with you? And if change happens with you, especially when you're grown, you are an active player. Like you said, you are your star player.
Absolutely.
Don't be a bystander. Like actively take part in your life, because things are going to happen in your life anyway. And then when they do happen, who do you blame?
It should be yourself, but I'm sure it's somebody else. I'm sure it's the reason because Big Jim did, so it's, or Sarah Jane, it was her and she made me. So you're exactly right. It's just taking accountability and taking a hold of your life the way that you want it. You can either stay in the dark or walk to the light. Those are your options. What the Empowerment Sistas do is allow you to walk to the light, but not alone. You have someone here that's coaching you and on your side with respect to holding you accountable. So the best feeling alone is not to be alone. The best feeling is not to be alone, but to feel supported in a way to where you want to do better. And it's amazing how coaching and support will do that. I'm a sports person. So growing up, I was a cheerleader and all that. And my coach used to get on my nerves. But I promise you, some of the things that she taught me, I still remember. Like she used to always say, dress for the job that you want, not for the job that you have. I never forgot that. So that for me means to always show up as your best self. And I was, oh my God, I think I was like 15. And I remember that. And I didn't even have a job at the time I was in high school, but I knew what she meant. And she used to tell me that. She used to tell all of us that. Dress for the job that you want, not the job that you have. That means show up and then mimic what you want to be. But you first got to figure out what you want to be. Once you figure out what you want to be, when I say mimic that, I mean begin to put in the strides in yourself. Okay, people often struggle with losing weight. Okay, so you keep saying you want to lose weight, but you're on your way to Popeyes, right? Okay, cool. I love Popeyes, honey. Yes, I do. However, I'm not going to go to Popeyes tonight. I'm going to go to Publix and I'm going to get me a salad. So you have to figure out what you're willing to do for your healing, whatever that looks like. But that, again, comes into play of taking accountability. So I just think that being a part of the Empowerment Sistas collective, so to speak, being a part of this group and what we have to offer you is truly, truly an amazing experience. Not only do you feel loved and accepted and non-judged in every capacity, you feel safe. And I think that is one of the greatest gifts that you can give anybody in any capacity is to feel safe. And that we provide for you guys. We provide a safe space. So come on and get safe.
Yes.
Come on and be the best version of yourself. It doesn't matter what condition, if you far in the dark, almost to the light, whatever state that you're in, we are so here to help you get there. And I think the main reason we created the Empowerment Sistas and this podcast is to allow you to see and hear. I want you to see what we do by you coming to our different events and the transformation summits and the vision parties. but I wanted to make sure that we both created a space to where you can hear us, on your ride to work. You're mad and frustrated about the job that you're going to, but keep in mind, while you're mad and frustrated, you have a job to go to. So we're here to put things in retrospect of your thought process and how you view and see things. And I think that for me is a highlight, giving you an insight on why you're thinking what you're thinking. And just like she said earlier, all the negative that you create in your mind, how much better it could be with positive. For me, I learned at a very young age, you are the first person to hear the first thing that you say. So whether it's negative or positive, you are the first person to hear it. Mm-hmm. So determine what you want to feed your spirit, what you want to feed your brain, because it all starts at you. And that's how I feel about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Ooh, y'all, we are 40 minutes in, and that was a lot.
It was.
That was a lot. So we are the Empowerment Sisters. We are excited for you, and we are going to bring you nuggets. We are going to pour into you. Yes. We are going to walk with you. Like Coach Key said, we created this podcast and even this space because we want you to be the best version of you. We want you to feel like you can take off everything and be raw and vulnerable. And I promise you, we won't judge you. I promise you, we are going to be right here partnering with you, because if everybody walked in the best versions of themselves, can you imagine how powerful we will be walking around here, the things we can accomplish, the dreams and everything. So we are going to do this monthly or bi-weekly. We're going to do this bi-weekly, and we're going to drop episodes, and we are always open to suggestions. We will definitely make sure that you stay connected with us. We are on Instagram and we are on Facebook. I am under the Visionary Associates.
And I am up under Bridge to Purpose, but the Roman numeral 2, not the number 2. So I am on Instagram. I am at Bridge to Purpose Life Coaching. And on Facebook, it is still Bridge to Purpose Life Coaching. My email is K as in kangaroo, link, LINK, at bridgetopurpose.com.
And I am on Facebook and Instagram at the Visionary Associates. Also subscribe to the YouTube channel, which this podcast will also be on the YouTube channel at the Visionary Associates. If you need to contact me, you can email me at smith@thevisionaryassociates.com. Hop over to the website, www.thevisionaryassociates.com. Learn all about our services, where we're going to be. We're around town.
Yes, we are. Moving and grooving.
We're moving and grooving. Our next summit. And also we have merchandise.
Yes.
Yeah, merchandise. We have wine glasses. We have beer mugs. We have tumblers, beautiful tumblers.
Yes.
So if you need a gift and want an empowerment gift, we have that for you.
Along with coffee cups for you early morning coffee and tea drinkers. I am a tea drinker myself. So yes, the cup holds a lot. And while you're drinking, you can feel positive along the way, because each cup has a signature quote, some type of positive quote. So you can take the Empowerment Sisters with you and reflect upon your cup each day.
So just know we're going to continue to give you nuggets because we love you.
Yep.
And so that is it. I am Coach Jimmy.
And I am Coach Key. And we thank you so much for tuning in. And we will see you guys again. Well, you'll hear us again in the next 2 weeks. So we look forward to you. Hang in there. Life is only as great as you make it. And it's up to you. You can do this. Have a good night.
Woo, woo. Night, night.